Hello everybody, welcome back. My name's Tofu and today we're going to be doing a island tour of my previous island of Skytree. It's actually the island I've had since the game released back in 2020, and its general theme is, I'd say, natural and then a mix of kind of cottagecore and maybe a bit of farm kind of core as well. Just going to jump into the map and show it off. That's not how you do it. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, everything's kind of very well terraformed. We've got a fair few amounts of cliffs, we've got a lot of waterways, fair few amounts of skipping stones, and we can see the villagers on the left hand side: Mitzi, Francine, Audie, Bob, Lolly, Kabuki, Anka, Cherry, Raymond and Tangy. And we have two players, being the top left one being myself, and the one underneath is my wife. The dream address down at the bottom, 5638-3325-7242, if you happen to want to visit as well. With that being said, let's get into the tour. Okay, so from the very first choice, obviously with the map, I initially chose something that was really close to the plaza. I thought it would save time going from the airport straight to the plaza. It proved to be kind of difficult then creating an entranceway that was basically looked good. And so I ended up doing this with like terraforming, basically blocked off the path to the plaza and forced you to kind of go onto the stepping stones. I do like it. I think it's an effective use of space, even though it was such a small amount of space to use. Obviously this is a dream address, so hello Luna. To the left of the plaza we have a small kind of I guess arts and crafts section with pottery. There's a little pottery kiln and a small oven as well. So we go down here. If we go onto the beach, we have our first house, which is Kabuki, and he's next to a strawberry field. And he's got a few kind of surfboards and a full seat next to his house, next to the coconut trees. So we just go back up here, up the path. Here's just a nice kind of walkway in between some waterfalls, things like that. I still really like this area. It was probably the first bit I did after the entranceway, and yeah, I'm still really pleased with it. Obviously there's a little duck here in the corner. Hello duck. So we go down here, there's a small lavender patch and a small little pumpkin patch as well in front of the next house, which is Cherry's house. For the longest time this was actually Fauna's house, and then I got a villager hunt and I managed to snag Cherry, which I was pretty pleased about, to be honest. Just a quick run onto the beach and we have a small area for fishing and a couple of yachts. And back to the path we go. Okay, so here I wanted a kind of branching path system. So if you go up here, up to the north, you end up going to the player house. If you go kind of northeast this way, you end up going to the museum island. So museum has its own little island it sits on. That's not a good view. That's a little bit better. So yeah, I've incorporated a fair few stepping stones along the way. I'm just going to quickly run onto Museum Island. So it's a very small kind of patch, basically literally only houses the museum and a few little exhibits like the Sphinx, the I forget what it's called, the information stone for want of a better name, and a rock. A lot of my pathing actually winds round and all kind of loops together, so obviously if you went this way it would come back to the plaza. There's another duck, hello. I guess we'll go up towards the player house. More waterfalls. A little gyroid on the top left. We have a small mushroom patch and another gyroid on the right. Okay, so we'll go left here, and here is, I guess, my player is private beach, and we have a little patch for ducks, a little kind of feeding area as well with the throwing beans. I forget what they're officially called, but I thought it was effective as like a little kind of food trough, I guess, but a little food box for the ducks. And you've got obviously this little berry tree as well, and they're in a little pond. So we will now head up to the player house, and we also have the big player farm. So I was really happy with this particular build. I really like the use of obviously the watermelon balls, the bamboo shoots, the mum cushions and the cocoa trees. Makes it look a little bit more kind of busy without just having the standard 6 obviously crops. And then we've got various cardboard boxes representing the different fruits and vegetables and things that we harvest. We also have a few bee boxes because you've got to be nice to the bees. Save the bees. And I have actually renovated the house, so let's have a look, shall we? So this is obviously my front room. I wanted it to have a kind of cabana feel, and I'm beyond happy with how this came out. I love the look of the stair design, so it makes it look like there's 2 separate levels. This is kind of more the almost, I guess, living room section of the room, whilst up here you've got the lunar bed, the vanity and the wardrobe, so it makes it feel more like a kind of bedroom rest area. But you have a few other things like the guitar here, there's obviously the Animal Crossing Switch on the TV, and I have my workbench in the corner. And from that, I guess we will go up. And as you can see from this very bright space, this is the bedroom, and it is solely based on the Sanrio character. I've completely whiffed on his name. It's the caramel flan dog. If you have the Sanrio cards, you can bring in Marty, and then by doing so, you can basically then purchase all of these different items. Pompurin? I'm going to have to put something on the screen if I'm correct with that, but either way, if I'm right or wrong, I'll make sure that the name is correctly put on screen. But I wanted this to be very bright, very yellow based, and have all the cutesy kind of furniture as well. And there's a little cookie jar on top of a mini fridge because I'm greedy. So the left hand room is my work office. This was the first real room I got finished. I did start working on the kitchen first because that was the kind of furniture I got first on the right hand side. But this is the room I actually finished, which is crazy considering you've got all the different trophies and the plaques and things as well. But I think this is quite a chill kind of space, especially if it was to be a kind of work office. Excuse me with my completely crazy camera work there. But yeah, I really do like this space. I think it's really kind of chill, and to be honest, I think it would be really kind of a productive place to get some work done. I say that, I'd be lazy here regardless, just like everywhere else. So this is the kitchen I mentioned previously. It's a very simple design. I wanted it to be very wood tone, so have a lot of kind of walnut-esque furniture, very dark kind of wood, and then any kind of appliance to have red. I've put a lot of obviously baking goods that you can buy, seasonal goods as well, such as the Yule log, the pie, the various cakes and things you can get sent from your mum, and the Berliner donuts as well. And there's a few aprons and a broom on the wall as well. So now, I guess we'll head upstairs. So as everyone probably knows by this point, I do love a good amount of plants in my builds. And this room is no exception. This is my greenhouse, solarium. I'm not really sure what you would call it, but my greenhouse attic, I guess. Very chill. I've got the bamboo speaker just playing some music with the gyroids jamming along. I could really see myself just sitting in this room, reading a book and losing track of all the hours. I could literally spend just all my time in this room. But we've got the basement to check out, so let's do that. So down in the basement we've got a kind of jazz club, and then we've got the various villagers' portraits on the wall. These are just some of the villagers I've had throughout my time on Skytree, but these are definitely the ones that I like the best and managed to get their photos of. If you turn to the wrong way, if you turn that way, sorry, you have the NPC characters that I have the photos of and that I did the houses for on that particular Happy Home Paradise. If you didn't know, if you do their house in Happy Home Paradise using the amiibo cards, you then get sent their portrait as a thank you. If you turn around this way, we have just a few of the KK albums on the wall next to the autograph plaques, and then a few various snacks and obviously instruments on the table, but the main bulk of the instruments are here on the right. I'm so talented. Okay, so let's explore more of the island. If we do a hard right here, instead of going over the stepping stone again, we have a small area next to the river, and this is my campsite. It's a very kind of simple design, but I wanted it to feel a little bit more kind of in the wilderness a bit. And I've got it surrounded by the river, and then just a kid tent in the background to make it feel a little bit more kind of used as well, and a little picnic spot right at the front with the camping stove next to the river. This camping sign, if you didn't know, is something that you can get from using basically the Pocket Camp. If you get to a certain point in Pocket Camp, you can then buy certain items that are very exclusive to that. This is very similar to the kind of jungle pathing that I have used on Tanglewood, but it's obviously closer to the just regular dirt path. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in my entranceway build. But if we come down here, is a very small wheat patch. When I first basically made this area, this became a gyroid garden, and so I put all my gyroid fragments here and then would water them and obviously go collect them the next day. But since then I've collected so many gyroids that I don't really need to use it, and so I thought a small wheat patch would make more sense. And I wanted it to have a orange theme, so the orange trees and the various bits of orange flowers and pumpkins dotted around, and obviously the orange leaf pile. And here we come up to, I guess, a mini neighbourhood. We have Lolly's house, and as she's a normal personality, she likes to talk about books and things a lot, so I have the mini library next to a pile of books, a small picnic area, and a typewriter overlooking the player farm. We have a small section for bees and bee-related goods. Save the bees. And we also have Mitzi's house as well, and she's next to a small orange flower garden. And here is my old character. You may notice I'm very similar looking to him. But yeah, I guess just ignore that fact. If I'd remembered that, I would have actually changed my clothes. We come into a small kind of Japanese garden, So this was built way before I even started my island of Shimizu. It was very reminiscent of a Japanese garden I had way before I did any of this terraforming. But I really liked it, and so I had a lot of items saved up, and so I thought I'll just keep like a small patch basically dedicated to it. I'm also going to say hi to Lolly, as she is my favourite character. Hello! That's okay, you're adorable. Here we have the secret beach, which isn't very secret, and I've literally just placed a few items. So a bench, the lamp, and a ninja suit. And then if you go up these stairs here... Oh, there's Tangy as well, hello! We have the second player, which is my wife's player. And I've got it so that she essentially has like a flower shop. This is meant to be almost like a garden centre-esque area with lots of plants. Obviously the plant kind of food at the back, the greenhouse. And then there's a small walkway, if I can get past Tangy and my player. Jeez. Here, with just a small kind of, I guess, outcropping with a gyroid. Okay, can I get past all these guys without causing a fuss? Yes, magic. We will go downwards. And we have my kind of flower colour wheel. I always was impressed by people that were doing these kind of flower wheels, and so I wanted to do my own, but something a little bit different. And so I've got a lot of the colours obviously going around the outside, and then a few colours that just kind of blend in these little patches as well with this particular little flower wheel. And you've got the two lucky cats just kind of greeting you before you walk through the Torii gate into the Japanese garden as well. Another area I was really happy with, and I did have a flower garden before I started doing all the massive terraforming work, and I just thought it was a shame to let it all go, and so this is the reason why I created this space. If we head to the left, this is where the Nook's Cranny is, but there's a small kind of picnic bench area, I guess, with a few cakes and the cornucopia item. Here we have some vending machines, there's a storage shed, obviously Nook's Cranny, and then there's just a small kind of, I guess, employee area with a bin, the ATM, and a workbench and some boxes. And the scattered paper on the floor, just to kind of give it a little bit of realism that, you know, it's obviously not the most looked after area, but still not the messiest. So we can obviously head right or down. I'm just going to head down for the time being. Initially I had this walkway completely lined with trees, and it lagged the game out to the point where I thought it was kind of unbearable, and so I got rid of a load of trees, and I'm a lot happier now. But we also have this waterfall here, or double waterfall I guess. I'm really good at blocking the view of my character with various items, aren't I? Or cliff. That's a bit better. You get the general gist. Here we have Bob's house. Oh, and we have Anchor having a walk in front of Bob's house. Hey. I wanted this kind of I forgot, ant nest, I guess, for want of a better word, to be out, and then I've actually hidden a rotten turnip behind it, and so usually if you walk by it looks like the ants have escaped, and there's a little hole basically where Anchor's kind of walking now, but I guess if it was there, Anchor walked through it and has then scared the ants away. Maybe if we can walk past at a later date, later time I should say even, we might be able to see them. I actually have a little bit of beef with Bob on this island. So it turns out he started this weird kind of cult. Like one day he was walking around in a bathrobe, like a black bathrobe. I never gave it to him. And then slowly every one of my villagers started walking around in bathrobes. And so in my kind of headcanon, he basically, using the help of Fauna, his trusty sidekick, he went around recruiting everyone on the island to then join his weird bathrobe cult. Anyway, Here's the area for the Able Sisters. No real reason as to why this is kind of almost fantasy setting. I just wanted a little different space. And I really liked these kind of items from the Happy Home Paradise, obviously the 2.0 update. And I wanted to use them in a build somewhere, and I thought that was the best area to use it. I guess I'll head right quickly. So this is Tangy's house here, with the various orange, not equipment, furniture even. Thank you, brain. But yeah, I wanted there to be a lot of orange. Sasha was living here for a long time, and then I really liked Sasha, but I wanted to try and get more cats on the island. And I got Tangy, so I was very pleased. This is a kind of secret walkway with a few stepping stones, and there's a little area on that bit of beach over there. But you can't see it because of the tree. Typical. But let's go have a look and see the secret area, shall we? Aha, it's a pirate cove! So these are the various items that you get from Gullivar. And I spent a lot of time kind of creating this, and I wanted to basically put it somewhere on the island, and I thought this little corner would work really well. I also managed to download this Mugiwara, the Straw Hat logo, so from One Piece and the Luffy's pirates. Let's just hop back over. There's obviously the bigger islands with the river and the waterfalls as well, making this area up. Okay, I'm going to avoid the beach because, as I've mentioned in my previous island tour, I generally don't build on the beach. I tend to leave them quite plain. If we go left at this split here, we have Francine's house. She has a nice little area with blue and white kind of gardens. Obviously, being a rabbit, she's got a carrot farm. I know I've already done that, much like the strawberry field, but, you know, this was technically the original, so I copied it on Shimizu. And she's got a few little areas to hang up washing, and a duck friend. We've got more kind of like mini islands, I guess, and you can actually hop over from that side to the other. I did say I like using stepping stones, so here's another little mini island as well. Hup. Okay, I guess I'm going to go down for now. So here's a small kind of, I guess, board game area, and the celebratory cake you got for the 1 year anniversary. I was really happy with the terraforming that I did on this island. I think it feels very natural without feeling kind of like too over the top, even though I have clearly done a lot of it. This is Anchor's house. This space was left kind of open so that I would do more with it. I couldn't find the right furniture to basically put there, and so I ended up just leaving it blank. And to be honest, it's kind of grown on me, just the fact that it is a big blank space. But just on the beach, underneath the cliff, is a load of Egyptian-themed artifacts, I guess. And I initially had this in its own little kind of roped-off area before I started doing all my major build work. But I wanted it to be close to Anchor. Like the Egyptian cat, it makes sense, right? Anyway, we'll go back up. So here we have a kind of communal picnic area, I guess. We have a few kind of cooking stalls. We have some soup and a coffee machine, barbecue. And then we have 4 tables. So we have fish dishes, savoury dishes. We have a little bit of free bread, a drinks table, and then various desserts. And then we have a Raymond's house here. If we go over the land bridge, and I wanted the river to make it look like it was actually going underneath the land bridge as well, we turn up at the butterfly garden. which is right in front of Audie's house. And this particular bell, if I can do it, there we go. Had to be out of camera mode. This bell is from the June wedding event with Reese and Cyrus, and I thought it was very fitting in this area. Okay, I'm now going to go down all the way back to the bridge. Okay, another little path around the rock. I do like doing that. I've done it a few times, I guess you've noticed. And just up here we have our teddy bear picnic area, and they've got their own little campfire and their little picnic area. I can't actually access the camera because I'm a fool. Wow, I'm really terrible at this. There we go. So yeah, the various bear dolls, they've got their board game, their books, they've got their picnics. What more could you want? And then because everything loops around, obviously if you go up here, this is the way back to kind of Bob's area. You've got the little stepping stone kind of hop over the river next to Francine's house. This is the area behind the plaza, which takes you back to the museum area. And much like I said previously, there's another little rock here with the path going all the way around. And there we have it, guys. So that is my entire island of Skytree. If you would like to visit, I'm going to put the DA into the description below, so if you do happen to visit, feel free to let me know, and let me know what you think. So I guess I will call it there. Thank you very much if you've watched this far. Hopefully you enjoyed my first ever island. Like I said, it was from release date, so it's been a lot of hours put into this, and it's gone through many different iterations, but I'm very happy with this overall. So guys, thank you very much. If you liked the video, please hit like, consider subscribing if you haven't done already, and of course, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, have a good one.